Well, first of all, I want to say welcome. This is being recorded, as you know, and that way, if for some reason there's an emergency or something happens, we'll make sure to get this presentation to you. And I'll be sharing this as well with the team at LBU, and they can send out the replay for everyone in case they missed it. We know that emergencies come up. But my name is Marcel Sanchez, and I just want to say welcome. Welcome to the masterclass. We're going to get started, and then I'm going to share with you a presentation. I'll talk for a little while, and then we're going to do a very basic coaching demonstration. You're going to watch a brief testimonial of one of our students, and I'm going to walk you through the coach certification process. And think of this webinar as information. Think of this webinar as there are so many different ideas about what coaching is. And my purpose in this masterclass in particular is to help clarify what coaching is and what coaching is not. So I hope you enjoy our time together. There's going to be a time of questions at the end if you have any questions along the way. And I'm sure I'll answer some of those as we work through the presentation. And I'm going to look at my notes here on the right briefly just to glance and see what slides are coming up. And then I'm going to go to a full presenter view so you can see that. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. And you may want to hold them until the end, depending on how many people show up. We may just have an open mic session at the end. But if you have questions, just hold them to the end because they may be answered in the process. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And one of the presentations that I want to make sure we get here. And okay. And if you can see that, just give me a thumbs up. I want to make sure everyone can see the presentation. Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, welcome. Welcome to the live masterclass. I'm glad that you are here and you're participating in this live masterclass. And let me talk to you a little bit about where we've been and where we are going. And I'm currently in the transition of making a masterclass that's similar to the one that you've seen if you've had a chance to watch the on-demand training videos. But really what I'm going to do is make it focus on coach certification and not so much on one specific area or the other. But you notice if you watch the initial on-demand training, we talked about this idea of why top leaders today are becoming certified executive coaches. So if you're here today and you're interested in becoming a certified executive coach, you're in the right place. If you're here today and you're interested in becoming a certified life coach, you're in the right place. A marriage coach, you're in the right place. Or if you say, I'm not really that interested in the specialization, I just want to get certified as a professional coach, you also are in the right place. And we'll talk through these as we go along with the presentation. Secondly, we looked at the idea on the on-demand training that to grow others effectively, you must first grow yourself intentionally. And I talk a lot about leadership development in the masterclass. And let's say, for an example, you're joining us a little bit later. You weren't able to watch the masterclass on-demand training. No need to fear. You can go back and watch those again. Day 2 on the on-demand training, we talked about what is coaching. You remember we said coaching is not counseling. Coaching is not advising. Coaching is not instructing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that tonight because coaching is essentially partnering with others, walking with others through their journey of getting from where they are to where they want to be. And then we talked about why executive coaching matters today in the masterclass. And then in day 3 of the on-demand training, and this is really what day 3 is about, we're going to really look at the coaching process. And that's where I want to begin this time together. We'll do a brief demonstration as a group. And then we're going to talk about the 3-step certification, which is life coach, executive coach, marriage coach, and how you can participate. And then lastly, I'll show you a case study, and then we'll have a time for a live question and answer. So let's talk about the coaching process. It says coaching, according to the ICF, the International Coaching Federation, is client-centric, collaborative, and non-directive in nature. The coach's role is to facilitate the client's self-discovery, their growth, and empowerment. this doesn't happen automatically. There's an intentional process, a coaching framework, if you will, supporting the client in each step of the coaching session. So notice some of these keywords here: client-centric, collaborative, non-directive in nature. Most of what people call coaching today is really not coaching, it's advising. It's not coaching at all. So let's get into this a little bit more. In a coaching session, because we're talking about the coaching process, the client guides the progress while the coach guides the process. Now, I know most of you are muted, and that's perfectly fine, but I want you to think about this framework. In a coaching session, the client guides the progress. So they don't really understand the coaching framework. That's our job as coaches. But you and I, as we begin to learn what coaching is about, we guide the process and we help the client work through a process of self-discovery. The International Coaching Federation, which is really the global standard of coaching. When you go all throughout the world, yes, there are other coaching organizations that certify you as coaches, but bar none, the International Coaching Federation, they are the top dog, if you will. They are the number one globally recognized coaching federation. Now, they define coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. That's how they define it. So they look at this as a partnership. And in the training videos that we have, in the live coaching that we do, we really talk a lot about what a partnership is and how to display that in a coaching session. It says the coaching process is, once again, here's the word, a collaborative relationship between the coach and the client, where the coach works with the client to identify and achieve, here's the word, their goals. Coaching is really about helping the client achieve their goals. They bring a goal to the coaching session, or we help them to develop a goal in the session. And by the end of the coaching session, the plan is to help them to reach their goal and to take steps forward in a practical way. Here below it says the coaching process is typically conducted in a series of one-to-one sessions, although group coaching is also available. Maybe some of you are already doing some one-on-one coaching right now. Maybe some of you are already doing group coaching right now. Well, this whole idea behind coaching, according to the ICF, really helps you to get to that next level of coach certification and coaching mastery. The coaching process typically follows a four-stage model. Number one, assessment, you and the client. Number two, planning. You're working together to do what? Number three is action. You're working together to take action. And then number four, you are holding the client accountable to what they say they will do and by when. Coaching helps leaders to do at least 5 different things. And I've simplified some of these things just to give us a basic framework. Number one, to define their goals. Many times people want to do great things. If you're a faith-based person, which some of you here on the call are, then maybe you have a God-sized dream or goal. Well, the reality is, unless you define that goal, how do you know if you've ever accomplished the goal? The purpose is to help people to define their goals. Number two, clarify plans to achieve their goals. Number three, overcome the obstacles and the barriers and the challenges that get in the way. Number four, develop new leadership skills. And number five, stay accountable and stay motivated. Now, coaching helps people to do much more than this, but this is a simple framework that we know we can count on because we've seen the results over and over again. Briefly, the ICF Core Competency Model is one of the frameworks that we study in the coach training program. It identifies the following key elements of the coaching process. Number one, establishing trust and rapport. Number two, active listening. Number three, questioning. Number 4, empathy. Number 5, challenging, talking about challenging the client. And number 6, supporting. One of the things I discovered when I took my coach training and certification many, many years ago was I thought I was a real good listener. I really did. I thought I've been in business for many years. I've been in ministry for many years. Surely I'm a pretty good listener. Well, when I went through my coach training, I realized I had a lot of work to do. And now, since I've been certified as a coach and I have my own training academy, I can assure you that most of us feel that we're decent listeners, and we probably are. But here's the encouragement: we can get better. We can be more empathetic in our listening. We can ask better questions in our conversation. We can be more present as we speak with people each and every day. And coach training helps you to do just that. The coaching process, here's a fourfold framework. We define the session goal and the outcomes. This is one of the very first things that we do with the client. Number 2, we clarify and explore the current reality. What are they facing right now? Number 3, we empower client-designed actions. In other words, coaching is not about you telling the client, this is what you need to do now. Let's go and do it. No, not at all. Coaching is about walking with the client and helping them to develop the actions as you walk with them on the journey. And then last but not least, number 4, manage progress and accountability. This is one of the things that coaching does. It helps us to manage progress and accountability. So as you look at this coaching process, and one thing is to see this on a screen, another thing is to study this and practice it. It really is something special when you realize that you can develop a skill to really help people do more now than they've ever done before. I'll never forget, and I share this often in my coach training, there was a gentleman in my church. His name is Mateo. And he came up to me one Sunday. I serve as executive pastor in my church. And he said to me, Marcel, will you pray for me? And I thought it was an interesting statement, not one that's uncommon as a pastor. And I said, well, what would you like for me to pray with you about? He said, well, I've been thinking about writing a book. I said, okay, tell me more. He said, I've been thinking about writing this book on how to help people experience worship and all these things. And I asked him the question, Mateo, how long have you been thinking about writing this book? And he said, well, I've been thinking about writing this book for about 5 years. And I looked at him and I said, Mateo, I'm not going to pray for you. So you can imagine the look on his face when he looked at me, one of his pastors, telling him, I am not going to pray for him. So I said, I'm not going to pray with you because you don't need prayer. You need a plan. You need someone to walk with you to get you to where you want to be. And really, you need to start. That's really the key. So what coaching does is coaching helps people to start something that they know they need to do to move them from where they are today to where they need to be tomorrow. And in this coach training process, we help you learn the skills to do just that. So I'm going to share with you briefly another angle on the coaching process. First of all, you're establishing the coaching agreement with the client. We're setting the goal. We're clarifying the current situation that they're in. We're defining who's involved, what's going on. We move to clarify the gap. So what is the challenge that you are facing? You're defining things. You're exploring what's getting in the way. And then number 4, you discover new learning. The client discovers new learning about themselves, about the way they're approaching the situation. And then you identify and you commit to action. We're leading the client and walking with the client to action. And then lastly, there's measured accountability. So this is how the coaching process works. And there's different ways to illustrate this, but this is just another example. Here's one last example, and then we'll get into an activity this evening. Empowering forward motion. This is an acronym that someone put together to help people consider the framework for a coaching session. You begin with focus, you define the objective, you talk about reality, then you move into the who and the what of the situation and the person. You define the actions, you reinforce what they're going to do, and then you practice discipline by following up and holding them accountable. That's essentially the idea. And again, that's one of many different frameworks. But what I really want to get into tonight, and honestly, this is where I have the most fun, is a coaching demonstration, but we're going to do this a little differently. I want everyone in the call to participate. Now, if you can't show your face on the camera, that's fine. I'm going to get off this screen for just a minute. But what I would really like to do is I would like to have you participate and think through a few questions that I'm going to ask you. So let me exit this for just a minute. And if you can still see my screen, you probably can, right? Just give me a thumbs up. I just want to make sure you can see my screen. Yes. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to show you a few questions here, and then I want you to answer them in the chat. Okay, now you don't have to disclose anything that's too personal, but I just want you to share a goal. As you think about from now till the end of the year, what is a goal that you need to reach by the end of the year? So this is obviously something that you have to accomplish rather quickly. You can't think about this for several weeks because the end of the year is upon us. So I want you to give that some thought. And then I would like you to add in the chat, what goal do you need to reach by the end of the year? So I'll give you a minute to think about that and just type it in the chat. Okay, and then as you do that, I'm going to put it up here so everyone can see, because I'm sharing my entire screen. Okay, so Savannah said, finish off client projects. Okay, I need to do that by the end of the year. Jason said, finish church calendar themes. Okay, good, for 2026. And Siobhan said, pick up where I left off on writing my book. Okay, that's right. Hopefully you weren't too convicted when I shared the story of Mateo, right? All right, then Dr. Patricia, finish 4 RFPs. I love that. That's an aggressive goal. Finish 4 RFPs. Dwayne said, hire new staff member. That is important. Okay, Burl said, complete church 2026 directive. Okay, good. Brother Bose said, search for a new church treasure. That is important. Okay, so, I mean, most people will say we only have a few more working days before the end of the year, before people shut things down. But you guys on this call, and, you know, men and women, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to stay busy. I mean, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wow, you have to be highly intentional to get these things done. Christopher said, research competitive salary structures for sales staff. That's good. That's good. I'm sure they have some reports now by the end of the year that might help you, but those are good. Now, let's move on to the next one. Okay. We won't spend too much time here, but the next one, what's really important to you about reaching this goal? As you think about hiring a new staff member, finishing 4 RFPs, getting the competitive salary, picking up where you left off on writing your book, what would you say is really important to you about reaching this goal? This is personal. And then the second half of the question is, what feelings does this evoke? As you think about finishing 4 RFPs, is that a little overwhelming? Or are you excited? As you're completing the church 2026 directive, are you looking ahead with anticipation? Or is it quite stressful because you're trying to get others to give feedback? But what's really important to you personally about reaching this goal? So Savannah says, once I finish the projects, I can take a much needed break, relief, and reset. Okay, that's good. Rest. We want to get this done so we can actually rest and enjoy Christmas and New Year's and spend some time with family. I have family coming in from North Florida, and we're going to have a packed house here. So we have to get things done. So these are good. Just keep them coming. Uh, Siobhan, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, a sense of purpose, knowing that people will benefit from what I have to say. I believe my story is necessary. That's good. That's good. Christopher said competitive sales structure helps develop a strong job offer to new sales role to hire a strong candidate to take the business, excuse me, to the next level. That's good, right? You have to hire the right people. You have to give them good salaries. If not, they're going to find something else. Dr. Patricia said, I will have my sales pipeline for quarter 1, 2026 ready. That's good. That's good. You want to be ready and prepared. Dwayne said new staff required to support 4 major prospects for 2026, free time to focus elsewhere. Brandon said complete church leadership training, calendar events, and budget preparation. Finding the right person will set a positive tone for the coming year. Brother Bo, Jason said, once I finish, I'll have peace of mind for the next year. I see a common theme here because I know what direction God has me going. It's pronounced Siobhan. Thank you, Siobhan. I appreciate that. Siobhan. I love that name. Okay, Burl said, when completed, I can rest and move with the guide with the directive. We will all be in one accord, unity. That's important. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Here's the question. What keeps getting in the way? I'm not going to dream here and think you're not going to have any challenges. You're not going to have any obstacles. Maybe you're already encountering some obstacles. So what is getting in the way right now? What's the barrier? What else is making this a problem for you? Because we know that all good things usually have friction and obstacles and challenges. So think about what is it that's getting in the way of accomplishing my goal? What else is making this a problem? All right. Time. Okay, time. Very good. Right? We only have so many days before the end of the year. I mean, the time is coming. Too much data and rabbit trails. Okay, that's good. Distractions, rabbit trails, too much information, information overload. Savannah said procrastination, other important tasks that need to be done first, poor communication with the client. Dr. Patricia, focus, right? Wow, how do we focus when we have all of these office parties and things with our neighbors and family? Siobhan said time and focus. Time and focus. Jason, work obligations, newlywed nuances. I'd love to explore that further. And laziness. Brother Bo said doubt from other team members. Burl said, I have so many things to do. I just need to sit down. I'm overwhelmed with so many external expectations. I get it. And then Faithful Life Church commitment. Jason said not wanting to disappoint anyone. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Okay. So here's number 4. Now remember, this is a very basic coaching framework, and it's just to give you an idea of the skeleton, if you will, a broad sense of what we do in a coaching session. So what has this cost you already? So don't answer this too quickly. Okay. Don't answer this question too quickly, but think about this. What has not being able to reach your goal by today, what has this cost you already? And I'm not going to give you any answers or suggestions because I really want you to think about what is it costing me to not be able to reach this goal? What is it costing me today? And there's a reason why there's overwhelm, there are distractions, there are challenges, there's a lack of focus sometimes, but there's always a cost. There's always a cost when we have a goal that we know we need to reach. And for whatever reason, things keep getting in the way, distractions keep popping up. Okay, Savannah said my energy and my rest time. My energy and my rest time. That's right. During this time, this is one of the most stressful times of the year. It seems like before it was Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday and all the sales. Well, I think we have sales starting November 1st now. I started getting deals in my inbox about sales and buy this now. And you have all these things happening in social media. But there's a cost to all that. There's a cost to the distraction. There's a cost to paying attention to the noise. Okay. Dr. Patricia said money and security. That's right. If we don't have our plans ready, if we're not executing on our plans, that's going to cost. It's going to cost time, money, sales. Jason said time with my wife, self-esteem, and motivation. Brother Bo, peace of mind. Christopher, bad hires in 2025. Yeah, that's a big cost because training is one of the highest costs that you have as an employer. Underperformance and was underprepared to develop them. I experienced the same for the last 2 years. Dr. Patricia said, "Yeah, these are powerful. These are powerful. It cost me peace of mind, feeling like I'm not actualizing my purpose. These are coming in fast, faster than I can read them. I must focus on tasks personally. Not having a direction costs money and time with the people we love. And that's probably a good summary, right? Not having direction, not fulfilling the goal, it costs me money and time with the people I love. So then here's the last one. In a very practical way, what steps could you take even this evening after we finish the call? We'll be done by 7:30 at the latest, 8 o'clock. But what could you do practically speaking? And I put 3 on there, but I love the number 3 because it's easy to remember. But what steps will help move you forward to reach your goal? Now, here's where I'm going to introduce an idea for you to consider. Just one, okay? One of the things I started doing, and it's probably going on, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, is when I needed to work on reports, like many of you, when I needed some peace of mind, or when I needed to do something that was really, really, really important, I would get my phone, and maybe you do this already, and I would put it on either do not disturb or I would turn it off. Sometimes I would even put it in airplane mode. Why do I say that? Well, because like you, I get distracted. I get calls. They're not all scam calls. I get calls from different people. And there are times that I just need to focus on getting something done without interruption. So one of the steps in a previous session was I just need to first schedule a time on my calendar from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and put my phone on do not disturb and get this one project done. So I don't know what it looks like for you, but what steps will move you forward to reach your goal? Because here, now, again, there are some things that we can't control, right? We can't control the economy. We can't control what the government does. We can't control, natural disasters. I mean, there's certain things that we can't control, but what is in your control are things that you can do, and what steps will move you forward, things that you can take ownership of to reach your goal. Okay, so let me scroll down here a little bit. So just think about that. Think of the first thing you can do. What's the first thing that you can do to move you forward to reach your goal? Now, typically in a coaching session, I don't even give a suggestion like the one I just did, but that was something that was very practical for me that has really served me well. But what does it look like for you? What would you say is at least one step that you can take, maybe even this evening, to help move you forward to reach your goal? And go ahead and type it into the chat. Savannah said, putting a time in my calendar to block out time in the morning to work. Ask someone for accountability. Okay, it's good. Those are good things. Ask someone for accountability. It's like the difference between going to the gym by yourself and going to gym with someone else. You don't want to let them down because you made a commitment. And if you sleep in, they're going to call you. Hey, where are you? We're at the gym. Let's go. Jason said, getting wise counsel from other pastors. That's great. That's great. Pastors, and I know because I are one, pastors sometimes they try to take on too much. And, we all need a Paul, somebody who's a few or several steps ahead of us in life and in ministry. We need a Barnabas, somebody who's our equal, our contemporary, and we need a Timothy, somebody that we're helping along and move forward, whether that's business or ministry related. But that's really good. Doing a quick panel. Let me just see. Quick panel amongst congregants. Okay. And research online. Yeah, there's some great tools now that we can leverage. I mean, they're introducing several AI tools that just make our life easier when it comes to research, whether that's researching salary or researching trends. Savon said, reread what I've already written. Yeah, I agree. Kind of go back and refresh your memory. Write continuously without worrying about editing. That's a good idea. Set an alarm timer to write. Unlearn perfectionism, long-term goal. Okay, and I think many of us here on this call, Siobhan, we probably suffer from perfection paralysis, where we're just trying to get it just perfect, but sometimes you just have to get it done and then maybe give it to somebody else so they can edit and perfect it. Brother Bo said, as we speak, we just set up a team meeting and move forward. Okay, so we just set up a team meeting to move forward. Excuse me. Dwayne said, write a step-by-step strategy to get this done. Brother Bro said for Sunday. Okay, good. Burl said, I'm going to stop overcommitting. Okay, confession time, that has been a struggle of mine for years. I just overcommit. I just love saying yes to people. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll help you with this. I mean, that's a challenge for me. I don't know for you, but I just love to serve. And sometimes your gift becomes a challenge for you in other areas. But yeah, I hear you there. So I need to prioritize and focus what I can do. Great. That's good. And then Dr. Patricia said, time blocking, setting aside time for proposal writing. That's right. Turn off the phone, let friends, family know, hey, I'm going to be doing this for the next couple of hours, and then writing my top 3 daily goals the night before. That's a good idea. Write it in your notes on your phone, or if you like using sticky notes, or if you have something on the calendar, turn my phone on do not disturb for at least 3 hours per day. You could probably get 5 to 6 hours of work done, if not more, if you did that, Dr. Patricia. So that's a good habit. Okay, so I'm going to keep going to the presentation. You can keep typing in things there if you like, but these are good. And this, once again, this is a very basic coaching framework, but coaching goes much deeper in each of these areas. It really, really does. But remember, it doesn't matter if you're coaching executives, if you're coaching doctors, teachers, family, friend, coaching is the same. Now, what changes is the person that you're coaching, but the actual framework of coaching remains the same. So this is a very basic structure, and then it builds from there. But let me go back and share, excuse me, let me go back and share the screen so that we can continue. And again, we'll have time at the end to go through questions. I just want to respect your time and be as efficient as possible. Okay, if you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, great. Thank you. So here's the 3-step coach certification roadmap. Now, I can't promise you once you become a certified coach, you're going to be as handsome as this gentleman on the screen. So I just want to, share that disclaimer, just right up front. All right, so let's go. But first, let me tell you my story. This is my wife, Yami. And actually, this Saturday, we're going to be celebrating 21, or not 21, I'm sorry, on the 21st, we're going to be celebrating 34 years of marriage. So we were at my son's wedding that day in Coral Gables, Florida. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. It'll be brief, but just to give you a little bit of background on me. My name is Marcel. Like I said, I'm an ICF professional certified coach, and I'm also the founder of Imagine Coaching Academy. I serve as executive pastor of Global Church. It's a bilingual church in Miami, Florida. We're right by the Dolphin Stadium, and I've been a pastor since 2005. So really excited. I've been there for 42 years, and I love what I do. Day in and day out, I'm training, I'm coaching, and I'm helping people. I've trained at least 11,470 people the last time I recorded it in about 1,009 training events. And like I said, 33 plus years married, 33 plus years in ministry, 26 years of professional experience. I was a consultant manager for UPS for many, many years. and I really enjoyed my work in corporate America. And then I've published 29 books year to date, and I'm looking forward to publishing my next book next year called Your Life on Mission. So that's just a little bit about me. And here's what I want you to know. Growing new leadership skills and empowering others is how you thrive as a leader. There's something about investing in other people, learning new skills. So you're receiving, and you're receiving to give, you're receiving to equip, that really lights the fire in our leadership. It really, really does. If you have hit a leadership plateau, it's happened to me, it's happened to many leaders. One of the things that helps us to overcome a leadership plateau is when we continue to learn, but not only learn, but find other people to pour into and strengthen them in their leadership journey. One of the things that I say often is that if you want to experience transformation, this could be in your marriage, this could be in your business life, your professional life, in ministry, you have to make a commitment. You have to make a commitment to do something different, out of the box, but something that is highly intentional. For example, I do a lot of marriage coaching. So I'll tell couples, I'm a pastor, so I'm obviously faith-based. And I'll tell couples, if you are going to see a transformation in your marriage, you need to make a commitment to God to stay together until separated by death. And then number two, you need to make a commitment to learn new marriage skills. And then the second one is you need a coach. I often tell business professionals or couples, if I'm coaching couples, you need someone to walk with you. They don't have to be an expert, but they need to be a guide to walk with you on this journey. And then number three, you need a course of action. You need a proven way to get you from where you are to where you want to be. So this is a framework I often talk about in coaching, in leadership development, in marriage training, and all these things, because it's very simple, but I have found it to be very, very effective. So here is the 3-step certification roadmap. Like I said, if you're interested in becoming a life coach, executive coach, marriage coach, or just a professional coach, you're in the right place. And becoming a certified professional coach, you can actually do it in 4 months. Now, the other programs that I've run in the past, they've been a little bit longer, but I've condensed the program to 4 months, but you can take up to a year to finish the program. There's a lot of flexibility, and you'll hear about that shortly. So there are 3 essential parts to the program. The first is a 2-day coach specialization intensive. It's going to be a Friday all day and a Saturday morning until about 1. And I'll give you the dates at the end in each area of coach specialization. So it's like drinking out of a fire hose in an intensive format. I personally love going to intensives, but I know for some it could be a little overwhelming, but it's a very interactive session. Then we have what's called self-directed video training or coach foundations training. This is a self-guided video training that you do on your own time. I provide you with a student worksheet for you to follow along depending on how fast you want to finish the course. If you say, Marcel, I want to do this in 4 months, then that's great. You can follow this path. If you say, no, I would like to do it in a year, that's fine too. Here's another path for you to take. So there's a lot of flexibility, and you learn at your own pace at your own time. And then the last part is coach skills training and mentor coaching. This is where we get together on a Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's highly interactive. It's like when you take a class on speech preparation or presentation skills. It's very similar. We get into the heart of coaching. We practice coaching. I mentor coach you. We put you in coaching triads. We have a lot of fun. We're a little vulnerable. Yes, we don't get it perfect the first or second or third time, but it's the only way to really develop and perfect your skills as a coach. So this is a very simple process. Like I say, 2-day coach specialization intensive. There are 3 types of intensives, and I'll talk about some of those as well at the end. On the certified executive coach, if you're a workplace coach, you're looking to start your own coaching practice, or you would like to coach executive leaders, I mean, this is a great fit for you. If you want to become a certified life coach, if you say, Marcel, I'm not really a business person, I'm more of a relationship type person, and I just want to help people develop their goals and reach their goals and encourage them, that's great. Life coaching is really good for that. If you say, well, I really, I've been in ministry a long time and I have a heart to serve married couples, but I just need tools to do that, then the Marriage Coach Intensive is for you. So we'll get into these more in a little bit. But let me give you the big framework, the big picture, if you will, of the entire program. I think it helps sometimes to see the big picture. So notice at the top in blue or dark blue, you have the Coach Specialization Intensives. And then everything and I'm sorry, I'm really challenged sometimes with colors. I think it's an aqua blue. My daughter's on the call, she might correct me, but it's the baby blue, right? Those are video based studies that you can do at your pace. Now, everything in gray is what we do live. Okay, so just to give you an example, so the 2-day intensives, dark blue, the baby blue or the aqua blue, that's what you do on your own at your own pace. And then the gray, that's what we do together. Now, I don't hire other coaches to do this. I personally train you. And that's my commitment in this program. I personally train you. And the guarantee I have in this program is if by the end of the modules and by the end of the coach training, if you still don't have the competency to be a certified coach, I work with you until you are competent as a coach. There is one assessment at the end of this program. It's an assessment where you coach someone and you record the coaching session. You turn that into me. I listen to it and I evaluate it and I grade it. But if you don't meet that requirement, I continue to work with you, often one-on-one, to develop your skills until you get to that level of competency. So that's my commitment to you in this program. I've helped many leaders just like you learn new leadership skills, empower more leaders, and change more lives. And I'm confident that I can do the same with you. So how does becoming a certified coach benefit you? And I'll make sure I'll get to your questions. And if you want to raise your hand, Dr. Patricia, that's fine. I'll circle back with you. So let's go through a couple of these things, and I'll go through them rather quickly. It helps stop leadership stagnation. Back when I took my training, I was stagnant as a leader in the sense of I had heard different audiobooks, I've attended many conferences and seminars, but I needed something different to stimulate my leadership development. And that's what coach training did for me. You'll learn new leadership skills and you will improve your communication. But there are other benefits. You can complete this training without leaving your office. You can do this from home or from your work office. You don't have to travel. You don't have to book expensive flights. You can collaborate and learn from other team members, which is a big help. You're not just doing this on your own, but you're doing this in a cohort. You can also ignite your passion for learning and growing. And coaching, especially since COVID, coaching has exploded in popularity and the need for coaching has increased, not only in the workplace, but in different sectors of our society and in government, and also the business of coaching. So there's a short video I'm going to give you here, and I'll just give you the context. It's invest in yourself. I'm going to show you a video by Dr. Paula Mayweather, and it's interesting because she was hesitant of starting this program, but she was one of the last ones to begin the cohort. And interestingly enough, she was the first to finish our original cohort, our first cohort. And let me just allow you to listen to Dr. Paula, and I may not play the whole video, but I just want you to hear a couple of things from her because I think it'll be encouraging. Let's go back a little bit when you were really starting to consider this coach training program. what problem or challenge were you having in your leadership growth that really was the starting point before you discovered the program? What was that initial problem or challenge that you were having?
As I said, I was a retired educator.
Mhm.
So I was used to a schedule of being off on certain times and having the income as well.
Sure.
So I took a job that the job description changed, I'll say, after I signed the document. So that was a challenge for me. It took too much of me. It was not a work life balance. So I needed something that I could feel satisfied in, something that I definitely could give back to the community and then have the revenue as well. The revenue was not the biggest component, but it was an integral part. So at that time, I was consulting God, uh, relaxing one afternoon, scrolling through Facebook, and I was challenged by the words that said, "You've invested into everyone else," as I considered my adult daughter, as I considered all the time for my family. And it said, "Now it's time to invest in you." And at that pivotal time, I was trying to say, "Now, who am I? What do I need to do next? What direction should I take in my life?" So those words actually spoke to me: invest in yourself.
And before you found those words, what did that frustration feel like to you when you were wrestling through that process?
I felt like I know that there is a purpose and a plan. I know that this is not it. Don't know exactly what is it. I don't know who or the resources that I need to link with so that I can feel accountable, that I can feel fulfilling.
Yeah.
But this isn't it. So I had a high level of frustration. Things were challenging in my home, my personal life, and I was just trying to keep it all together.
Yeah. What would you say, Dr. Paula, was inspiring about our coach certification program?
You, of course.
Why, thank you.
I was toiling with the decision
Sure.
of whether to, I had missed the first intensive, but you gave me the confidence that I would be able to make it up.
Mhm.
Um, the community of people that were involved in the program, many of them had my same backgrounds. They were in the same situations that I was in.
Yeah.
They were very loving and embracing. I don't think I met anyone that was ever rude. We had some challenges trying to get our times to connect in different areas. We had challenges with missing each other for appointments, but everyone, they were just loving. Everyone had the same oneness, same goal. And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was interesting because you were, if I'm not mistaken, the last to start the program, and you were the first to finish the program, which I
Yeah.
love. I mean, I tell everybody, I said, no, Dr. Paula, she's an overachiever. She's humble, but watch out because she's got fire. And so I congratulate you on that. Take us to the moment, Dr. Paula, when you realized that our certified coach program was actually working to solve that frustration, that challenge that you mentioned?
I was so busy with everything because also I was trying to get a trucking business established. So
Yeah.
I was just super busy working. And my pastor, he spoke to me one afternoon after service and he says, "I'm liking what I'm seeing now. Your confidence is really growing. I am so proud of you.
Mhm.
Thank you for stepping up in your leadership role with the Sunday school. Thank you for all that you do." And I stopped and I
Wow.
thought and I looked because when I get consumed into a project, I really don't stop and self reflect, I guess, as much as I should.
Sure.
But his words resonated with me. I think about everything every night now. What did I do? Did I miss? And so I said, "Oh, my confidence is growing." So it made me, for him to notice that. I didn't notice it. I just was so busy involved in the task. But
Yeah.
when he highlighted, and he is a man that he only says what is true,
Mhm.
and he's pretty firm. Uh, he does give out compliments, but you've earned it.
Yes.
So, and just for someone else to notice.
What I find fascinating, Dr. Paula, is you've already had people who want you to coach them even before you finished the program earlier. They were already asking you to coach them,
Yeah.
and that says a lot. It really, really does. Now, you mentioned your confidence. and that was pointed out by your pastor. What else has the coach training done for you personally as a result of the experience?
It also has given me a voice. I'm not going to say that my voice was silent, but I am going to say that I was unsure of what path I wanted to take. So because of that, I kind of shied away a little of starting up conversations, just seeing what people were.
What would you say, Dr. Paula, were some either hesitations or doubts that you had before joining our program?
I had two. First was time. How am I going to navigate this? How am I going to do it? What am I going to do differently so that I can get what I need done? So I had to, I'm a planner also, so I had to come up with a plan. How can I do that? So it took me a minute to decide how I could make that work. How, especially when I was working still at the school system, those were some long draining hours. Now, when it was the summertime, it was a little easier. I'd take my information with me on the truck. I rode out a few days on the truck, and I was doing that.
Yeah.
My other challenge was money. Wow, let's see. This, what am I going to have to give up so that I can afford this? Then I kept hearing the word investment. So those were my two, time and money. Yeah. But it all worked out.
So as you think of people right now who were where you were back in January of this year, and let's say they're on the fence about becoming a certified professional coach, what would you tell them?
I would tell them the program will help them. It will reframe their thinking. It will help them in the shift of their mindset, and the program will allow them to help others as well. And just the wealth of knowledge, just from the range of people that I even served in that time. So they will meet some interesting people, and the things that people say as you help them with their action plan, yeah, I can do that. So it's really a good program.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would? Okay, I'll stop it there because it's a very long interview, but I just want to give you a glimpse. She was one of my favorite students, and she really brought a lot of energy to the program, and I really saw the change in her. So I wanted to illustrate that a little bit. So I think it's time for you to get started on a new way to develop your skills and empower more leaders. And I want to share a couple more slides and then we'll have a chance to ask some questions. So just envision the impact of multiplying your ability to identify, equip, and empower more leaders. That's what coaching does. It gives you the ability to serve others better. But as I said before, you can speak with greater clarity. And in those one-on-one sessions, as you're trying to help people work through challenges in their lives, this serves you really, really well. And it serves the people that you love and want the best for. And then it increases your emotional intelligence. This is one of the top soft skills companies are looking for today. And coaching allows you to develop your emotional intelligence as well as communication and relationship building skills. So I always say coaching helps you to empower more leaders and change more lives. And I really believe that because it is a powerful tool. Luke Lyons, he's the president, the international CEO or COO rather of Global Surge. It's an international ministry with Dr. Greg Lyons. He says, the Imagine Certified Professional Coach program has given me even more confidence to go into a situation where I don't have the answer going in. It's really helped me to frame my dialogue differently by trying to find the source of the solution. I'm able to really articulate that a lot better. Georgina, she's a software manager. She said having this model of open-ended questioning really did help. It prevented me from telling people what to do, but encouraging them to be a part of the solution. So once again, what do you need for transformation? You need a commitment, you need a coach, and you need a course of action. So one of the things that I'm doing now as we end the year is I'm putting together a limited time special offer before the end of the year. So many of you said, hey, these are the goals that I have before the end of the year. And one of the things that I like to do is before the end of the year is really to put things out there to give people an opportunity to sign up to become a certified coach. So there are 3 bonuses in the coach certification program that I'm adding until the end of the year. And here they are. Number 1, it's the what's called the professional influence multiplier. In other words, if you sign up for the training today or before the end of the year, you're going to have access to all 3 certifications: executive coach, marriage coach, and life coach. But there's a second bonus, and that's what I call the 2-for-1 marriage advantage. I do a lot of marriage coaching, and in our last cohort, we had 2 couples that got certified together. It was a lot of fun. It really helped them in their marriage. So, one of the things that I'm doing in this program for this next cohort through the end of the year is if you sign up, your spouse joins you for no additional cost. So it's a marriage advantage 2-for-1. And then number 3, there's a business accelerator course for coaches. If you're looking to become a professional coach in the future, I'm including a coaching business accelerator coach training at no additional cost. So that's one of the things that I wanted to do at the end of our time together, just to share with you. And then, of course, you get everything else that's involved with the program that I already mentioned: the Coach Foundations training, the 1-year Coach Academy membership. It's an online portal, a proven framework to thrive in your leadership, and expert mentor coaching and personalized feedback. So you get written feedback, you get verbal feedback, you get group feedback. So you get a lot of support in this program. So let me just briefly say who this program is not for. And I love this color. It's not quite red, at least I don't think it is. It's hard for me to tell sometimes, but I think it's important to define who is this not for. It's not for leaders looking for a quick fix to problems that actually require deep personal change. It's not for those who want to buy a result through a certification. I mean, there are many certifications out there. You can buy a coaching certification for probably $97, but that's not real coach training. So if you're looking for a quick fix or just something to have on your wall, this is not for you. Number 3, anyone looking for a shortcut for better results without the work of better leadership. One of the things that coach training does is it helps you to become a better leader because it makes you more self-aware, more empathetic, more in tune to what people say, what they're not saying, what they're communicating without words. So who is the coach program for? Who is this certified coach program for? It's for leaders who want to learn new skills, empower more leaders, and change more lives. There it is. Number 2, those ready to thrive in business and in high demand corporate environments. Number 3, professionals who envision driving greater results. And last but certainly not least, proactive leaders who want to prepare for their next leadership opportunity. I think that was a common theme in our last cohort. We had pastors that were approaching a transition. We had people who had been in corporate America that were getting ready for a transition. So they wanted to prepare themselves and equip themselves to be ready for what was ahead. And also, they wanted to have more options. So if any of these, and there are other reasons to do this, but if any of these relate to where you are today, then this might be a good fit for you. So let me tell you about the intensives, the ones that are planned right now, and the overall schedule so you understand. We're going to have a certified life coach intensive on Friday, January 23rd. Like I said, it's going to be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 100% online, and then Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for my friends that live on the West Coast, it's going to be an early day. We have the Certified Executive Coach Training on Friday, February 20th, Saturday, February 21st. Once again, if you sign up before the end of the year, you can take both intensives. If you're married and your wife wants to take one, or your husband wants to take one, and you want to take the other, it's perfectly fine. That's part of the bonus. And then, like I said here before, we're going to start the bi-monthly cohorts in February. It's going to be on a Tuesday night, the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have makeup days because life happens. If you miss a cohort, it's not the end of the world, but we do have makeup days because the program is intentionally designed to be flexible to meet the changing needs of professionals. So, what is your investment? If you decide, Marcel, I would like to go forward with this and I would like to start the coach training videos, get ready for the intensive. If you pay in full, that's really the best package. You save $600, it's $10,500. And if you pay monthly, it's 12 payments of $925. Some have asked me, in case it crosses your mind, are there other payment plans available? The question is yes. We get on a phone call and we talk about something that can work for you to make it doable. That's perfectly fine. What I find is, our leadership training, our leadership development is an investment, as Dr. Paula said. So that is the price. It will go up next year, but I wanted to get that. But like I said, this is, if you are married, this would be the cost for you and your spouse. So, just to review, you get the professional influence multiplier. You get to take advantage of all three intensives. And by the way, the intensives are already recorded on video. So, if you can't make a live intensive, you can watch the on demand training intensives at your pace and at your convenience. The 2-for-1 marriage advantage, the coaching business accelerator course, that's all included, as well as the online platform for 1 year and the support to go along with it. Okay. So we're going to get into questions in a minute, but you say, Marcel, how do I get started? There's 3 easy steps. Number 1, you finalize your payment, and I'll share a link on the chat. You can scan this if you're watching this on your computer, on your phone, but I'll put the link on the chat as well during the question and answer time. Then you schedule an onboarding time with me. That's a one-on-one time where we walk through the program. You get access to the online platform. Any pending questions I answer, and I make sure that you're 100% so you can watch the videos on your phone, on your desktop, and that you're good to go. And then lastly, you start your on-demand training. It's the holiday season, so I don't expect anyone to start this until the new year. But for some of you that may not have as aggressive goals as others, you can begin the video training at any time. Okay? So before we begin the live question and answer time, I'm going to exit the screen and then I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute because we have with us Dr. Swain from LBU. And we have a partnership with LBU. So I would like Dr. Swain to kind of share some thoughts here on the partnership and how they see this as benefiting their students and other things that are coming up. Dr. Walter.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And yes, I'm Walter Swaim. I'm the academic dean at Louisiana Baptist University. And I'm assuming you all can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just rolled right in there. It looked like it was good. But anyway, I'm a native Miamian, grew up right there in Carroll City and Opelika area, right? 4710 170th Street. There you go. So that's where I grew up. And then at 13, moved over to Cooper City. And then Hollywood was where I experienced my being born again and coming to Christ, and eventually went to course with the Christian school. I'd gone to Dade Christian and then Hollywood Christian. So it's good to be with folks in Miami once again, and love being back there when I can. But here I am in East Texas, and wanting to introduce you to LBU in Louisiana. And this program, that how it intersects with this is we have a partnership with Imagine Coaching to put together a certificate we have two levels of certificates. There's certificates that are basic level in Bible and theology, just for those starting out. This is not that. This is a premier certificate. So the courses are actually dual credit. They would go for a undergraduate or a master's degree. They're actually master's degree level courses. And what it is, am I able to share real quickly, Marcel?
Yes, let me
Okay.
give me a quick second. Let me.
Sure.
Okay, let me do this.
I meant to ask that earlier. My
Yeah,
apologies.
no, it's fine. Okay.
And I'll be very quick. And everybody's tired.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. No, we're
All
doing
right,
we're
thank
doing
you.
good on time. We're doing good on time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, so go ahead and take the extra hour then, or
No,
okay.
absolutely not.
Wait, why did he mute my mic? I don't understand. So I assume you can see the what we call a course worksheet here. And so there we have 6 credit hours alone that are transferred in from your training with Imagine Coaching into this certificate, because all of our certificates are 18 hours or 6 courses. And so this is almost practically half of it that is integrated into this. But, we believers, and I've been a chaplain for some 20 years as well. I was a bivocational pastor, bilingual pastor in South Florida for several years, and then in Houston, Texas for another 20, and was a chaplain during that time, a corporate chaplain, a police chaplain, and we carry a deeper layer when we are ministering to people or coaching others. Because of our deep-seated rootedness in Christ, abiding in Him. And He is that source of all source. And on top of that brings us our values, our ethics, our morals, our decision-making, our whole worldview. And so what we bring into the life coaching with this degree is these 4 additional courses, which would be on biblical worldview and apologetics, which is how to understand and defend even the beliefs of Christianity. Don't get scared away by theology on this one, but it's Christ-centered biblical counseling, and coaching is not counseling, but this course is more about the understanding theologically as to why we help others transform their lives through Christ, at the biblical basis for that. And then a general biblical theology, have a good grounding on the basic doctrines of the faith, and then spiritual ethics in the modern world, which is a course that goes over the different challenges that people face that become barriers to how they advance in life as well. And so that's what the courses are and what it looks like, and wanted to give you that visual at least there. And so this comes as one package. So once you would step off of the initial training with Imagine Coaching, then you would roll right into us. We would bring those credits in, and you would roll right into this and begin work on it. And with these 4 courses, even though they're pretty robust and master's level, you could easily get them done, I think, with a regular pace of work within a year and a half, 2 years max. And that is doing it methodically, because the difference about LBU is not only that our tuition rates are lower than other Bible colleges and universities, but it is all online completely. And then also you work at your own pace. So you're not locked into, you got to start on January 3rd and end on April 28th or something like that. It's you got to start, you stop, life happens, you start again, you pick up where you left off, and you keep rolling till you finish the course and begin the next one. So this is something, and the benefit of this, again, is to broaden your understanding not only of the knowledge of the Word and of God in a deeper and more disciplined way, an academic way as well, but you are preparing yourself also from this type of premier certificate. It can help capacitate you to equip you to, we've seen that where this could work in those that want to be missionaries in countries that are highly secular, or do not permit normal church planting missionaries in them, and they go in as a coach, businesses and individuals, and even moving entirely into another country, living there, and then using this as their business, as well as a way to reach others and make disciples, reach others with the gospel and make disciples of Christ. And if not foreign wide, it also makes you a home and a local missionary as well, because now you've got even more capacity biblically as the foundation underneath your training as a coach in a practical sense. And so bringing all that together, it brings tremendous benefit. And especially if there's someone that's wanting to, they're shifting out of full-time ministry as well, and they can go into this, even though they may have theological training, they'll be able to sharpen these skills, because these are courses that are not something that everybody takes in their normal biblical training for ministry. So all of this is available, and it can be begun at any time once you're done with your training through Imagine Coaching. So
Thank you.
if there's any other question, I'll hang on here too, in case there's any question or two for me. But thank you, Marcel, for the time and to be able to bring this forward to everybody.
My pleasure. If you can't come on camera, that's fine. If you do have a question, you can put it on the chat and I'll answer that. But if you're on camera and you want to ask a question, you can ask. You can just unmute yourself and ask. I think Dr. Patricia, you had your hand up earlier. I don't know if you still had a question that I could answer.
I think you answered it with the curriculum. What the light blue? You described like the top layer, which was the virtual asynchronous videos.
Yes.
What were the light blue? I'm guessing the gray was the intensive that you showed for January and February. What was the light blue?
Hold on. Let me go black. Let me go back to this and then I'll share it. Okay, just to make sure. Okay, I won't show my full screen there. Okay, here it is. All right, so the light blue, this darker blue, and I'm sorry with colors, I'm not very good with the navy blue. those are the intensives. Those are the 3 intensive. But this lighter blue, these are the self-directed Coach Foundations training videos. And once we do an onboarding call, I literally walk you through each one. I show you how to set it up. And then really the first 2 sections of videos are important to watch. The remainder, you can just listen to them as you exercise or do other things, because they don't require you to do anything. But the first couple of videos, and I review all that on the call, you'll have to do some things or some illustrations, some charts. But a lot of this is coach theory, which is part of the foundation. But to answer your question, the lighter blue are the self-directed video studies, and then the gray is what we do in the 4-month coach training, which is Tuesday nights from 6 to 10 p.m. Okay. Okay, any other question? Did that answer your question? Oh, sorry, you're on mute there.
You said 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday for the grades?
6 to 10 p.m. 6 to
10. Okay.
6 to
And
10.
that's okay. Thank
Tuesday.
you.
Yeah, that will begin in February, the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. Good question. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Or let me look at the chat. Okay. Dr. Swain put his email on there if you have any questions for him. Thank you, Dr. Walt. And I wanted to show you another slide here. Let me just share this screen a second. Because here below is my phone number. Okay, can you see that okay? 786-554, and I'll put it here on the chat as well. And this training cohort, if I can use one phrase, it's very personalized around your development. And everyone is different. They're at a different phase in their leadership journey. It's a different stage of life, but this is, for me, it's a personal training program. It's, in the future, I'm sure I'll have other coach trainers who help and come alongside, but I'm literally walking you through this process. And so if you have questions, that's my cell phone number. You can reach me directly and text me any questions that you may have along the way. But I just wanted to share that with you so you have it. And then, like I said earlier, to prepare for your next leadership opportunity, you really do need a commitment, you need a coach, and you need a course of action. And I think this is something that will encourage you, it will challenge you. It's not overwhelming where you're going to have to stop halfway through. It's very flexible. That's why I said you can do it in 4 months or you can do it in a year. And it really depends on your schedule. When we have the cohorts, we usually start them on a 4 month period. From this point forward, we've reduced it and we'll start another one, afterwards, depending on the schedule and the amount of participants. But this is something that can really help you in your leadership development. And as Dr. Paula said, there's a time where you have to just invest in yourself so that you can serve people better and get to that next level in your leadership journey. Okay. So we're doing good on time. It's 7:16. I'm not in a rush. If you have any other questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And if you need to go, I understand that too, if you have other commitments. But like I said, I wanted to speak effectively but quickly so that if you do have other commitments, you can make those commitments. But I'll stay on here as long as there are questions. So if you need to go, it's been a pleasure to serve you. Dwayne, go ahead. Dwayne, you have a question.
Good night, everybody, and thank you for the presentation. It was quite challenging, quite informative, very intriguing. Question for you regarding the scheduling. You said the program would be 4 months.
Mhm.
However, if you took the payment option, it would be a 12-month payment option. How would that work? You're in the 4 month, you finish the class in 4 months, but you still have the payments. So you get your certification then at the end of the year. Does that work?
Yeah, this program is built on trust. And what I do, most people don't do things the way I do them. um, you can finish the accelerator program in 4 months, meaning the Tuesday night cohorts and the intensive. You can do that in 4 months, and then you still have to do some peer coaching, which you can do within that period of 4 months. Now, if you're able to do all of that in 4 months, I mean, that's great. Not everyone can do that, but it doesn't affect the payments. So if you can finish in 4 months and you sign up for the 12-month payment program, even if you finish, I'll still give you the certification. You just continue paying, the commitment until you're done. But it doesn't work where if you finish in 4 months, you have to pay everything in 4 months. Does that help you, Dwayne?
Yeah, thanks. That clarifies it. So you can do the core of the actually going to be academic program in 4 months,
Mhm.
but if you need the interactive coaching sessions, that can take longer, and you can continue making the payments
Yeah,
till
some of
you're
that.
done with the program at the end of the year.
Yeah, the right, the 925 for 12 months, for an example, if that's the part you want to take, then yeah, that's just a year, and it really doesn't matter when you finish the program within the year. It could be 1 year or it could be less, but that just makes it easier for some. And like I said, if there's something else that you prefer on a payment plan, we can have that conversation as well offline.